I love the sweater.
Thank you. Well,
Did you knit it yourself?
I wish. I wish. No, some little lady.
Because you do knitting, right?
I do knit
or
and
crocheting?
yeah.
Okay,
but no, some little old lady in years past made this, and I found it at a thrift store for $10.
Well, it's apt because it's the last show of the year.
Yep, 'tis the season.
Right.
Yes.
So, and it was a great one. I love these people.
Mission,
yes.
Can't
spent several pieces of the whole year with them because it was a big year for them.
And we did another live at their
100th
anniversary event.
Right. But God loved the work they do.
Yeah.
Like they are so customer focused.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the work they do and it's like the way they do it.
Yeah.
The passion is so just exciting.
It's infectious. I hope everyone watching kind of feels that. You get to know something more maybe about this 100-year company that maybe you didn't know, but if you did know it, just like you get to see the faces that make the company work. And
we have a guest joining virtually.
That was cool.
Yeah, they're from the field.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of those, but it was great to have that mix. Yeah,
definitely.
All right. Well, happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Enjoy the show.
Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We look forward to being here.
Yeah,
absolutely. We have some folks in studio and joining us online. So
online, it's been a while since we've had
a
virtual guests. That's really nice.
So I think maybe we'll go through first off and just introduce each of you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds
Start
like
with Shayne.
Yeah, Shayne Waltrip, Director of Sales for North America for the Mission Group.
Great.
Thank you.
Been around for 20 years, right, Shayne? Celebrated a big
little bit.
The big 2-0.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, congrats.
They say time flies when you're having fun or working for Mission.
That's right.
Yeah, your NOV career can almost have a glass of wine.
Almost. Close.
He might prefer an old-fashioned.
Yeah, old-fashioned is a little better.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And I'm Michael Schwartzenburg, the Vice President for Mission. Like Shayne, I made 15 years recently as well. So it's seems just like yesterday that I started with this team.
Great. And then joining us all the way from, actually, I don't know the actual location.
Yeah, maybe is it top secret?
But Tyler, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Tyler Zacharias. I'm from Northeast Pennsylvania. We're just about 30 miles outside of Pittsburgh right now.
Great.
Wow, nice and chilly, I'm assuming then, right?
Pittsburgh. I don't know. He's got a light sweater on.
We have a nice 35-degree day here in December.
There you go.
Not bad. Okay.
A little bit of jealousy here. Is this what 79 degrees, muggy outside?
I know.
It's gross.
Mosquitoes are everywhere again.
No kidding. Oh man. Well, speaking of, we have the great 20-year milestone with you, but with Mission,
what a year.
They beat you a little bit.
Yeah.
We're at 100.
That's right.
A big 100.
100 century in the making.
I just wanted to first ask, what does that mean to y'all? What does 100 mean as a milestone?
It's pretty remarkable. I mean, it's honestly once in a career opportunity, in my opinion. Very few people get this opportunity to celebrate, an incredible milestone.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't be celebrating it if it wasn't for the decades before us and the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears that our predecessors have put into the family concept of the Mission family. It started out in 1924 in Houston on a small back road and developed into a wonderful global organization that's still around and still the most recognizable brand in the industry, which is awesome.
Yeah, no kidding. And does a portfolio change on something? Maybe Shayne, that might be a question I'll shoot for you, but how does the innovation change over 100 years?
Yeah, so it does change, right? I mean, the thing is to try to stay relevant, right? And so I think we do a pretty good job at that. We're always looking to bring something new to the table, something new to the field. I'm proud to be a part of a lot of the stuff that we've brought to the table over the last 20 years. I've been here 20 years, and just in that short time, we've had all kinds of new products come out. A lot of them are super exciting.
Right.
Some of the new stuff that we have today is very exciting. I'm looking forward to 2025, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and we've had some failures along the way. There's no question about it.
No.
Yeah.
In 100 years? No.
But it's funny that, even Shayne mentioned some of the ideas that I had. It's not just your engineers that are coming up with this, and it's not just the Mission employees. We have so many roundtable conversations and pain points with the customers and the folks that are actually using our product that say, hey, if you tweak this or if you change this, I think it would work even better.
That's right.
And we've taken that back and have done some incredible things. Fact of the matter, Tyler's up in the Pennsylvania market with one of our wonderful drilling contractors where there's a trial going on for the Blackjack Powerlast fluid in which is a phenomenal game changer that we just launched and will be unveiling at the very beginning of next year. And the trial's gone very successful. I don't know if Tyler wants to share a few words this time.
Tyler, how's it? Give us a lowdown. How's it been going up there?
From the field.
Yeah, sure thing. So we've gotten positive feedback from our particular contractor that we're trialing with. Some of the highlights of it are we're definitely getting extended life on MSA items for the actual power last. The valve, seats, wear plates, etc. They're lasting a lot longer than our competition or even our conventional parts. I was just speaking with one of the contractors this morning. They said the usability or userability of it, very user-friendly, right, compared to the competition. A lot easier to work on. They like a lot about it. So a lot of really positive feedback.
That's great. Yeah. So a lot of our stuff is tied to safety, right? And what can we do in a safer environment, removing people from swinging hammers and having a hands-on approach, and also just sheer efficiencies of not having to work on the product as far as changing expendables out and putting your hands in places that create, pinch points and just safety things in general. And that's something that's been absolutely a game changer. You look back after honestly 15 years, how many things have advanced just with the mission offering on the consumable landscape is eons. Now there's a lot of cool automation and robotics and all this stuff going on, but the day-to-day need of the valve, seats, pistons, liners, and how to install the install base alone with our Blackjack line, and of course the Power Last fluid, and it's going to be phenomenal and a game changer, we feel, in the very near future.
We've shared a lot of this year together. I think more than normally. We made a video for you guys for the 100-year thing, and so I wanted to ask you about, we're talking about all the innovation that we're having. Tyler's out there with the new product, repping it really well. But like, what are some of the things about mission or maybe the relationships with customers that don't really change? What are some of the constants in this world of innovation that, things are getting better, or newer, but are there some foundational things that y'all rely on as a sales team, as a field service team, that are constants and you're always kind of going back to and sticking to?
I mean, I'll kick it off and then I'm gonna pass it to Shayne, because I think hands-on, and of course Tyler, but I every single meeting we're in, the number one priority at the end of the day is the customer. And losing focus on that can very easily happen when we get set up with standard operating procedures and processes and worried about all these other internal issues. But if we lose focus on the customer, we've lost it from the get-go. And so the North America team and what Shayne does with his team is phenomenal, putting the customer first, but Shayne might be able to allude a little bit more.
Yeah. So, I mean, my team is stellar, right? I've been extremely fortunate to have some of the guys that I have. They're just hardworking people, man, salt of the earth type people. They're out there every day, kicking dirt and seeing customers. And I think the customer that we deal with realizes that and kind of they're on their level, right? And so I think it goes a long way.
And it's not just sales champions, right? It's the technical support that our team provides.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the technical support too, because you can have a great product that is going to promise to do a lot of different things and promise to do them well, but eventually a machine will fail at some part. Something mechanical is going to break, and there's now a reliability aspect of how quick can you be here? How well are you going to service my need? When can I get back up and running? And I've seen that from you guys. Tyler, maybe you talked about what you experience firsthand with what the customer is concerned with, not just about really the technical prowess of the product, but like the service aspect of how well is that product serviced?
Yeah, so I think one thing that puts us apart is we have the parts on the shelf here locally or across the regions. So they're never going to be down very long. We're an asset to our customer, meaning we offer, technical support to them. So if they're experiencing an issue, we typically can troubleshoot that issue and get them back up and running in no time.
Yeah.
Tyler, how many times do you get called on nights and weekends as a sales rep in the field?
Quite frequently.
That's right. That's right. And that's one thing also is that, we run 24/7, 365, except on leap year, 366 days a year. You know, that's us. That's who we are. We're accessible.
Adapt,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Adaptability. I think that's a huge part of our team is being able to adapt on the fly.
That's right.
And get things done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
There's so many times that customers say, I need to talk to a mission hand, you know, whether it's 2:00 in the morning or on a holiday. You know, we've all taken call back in the days. We've all earned our living, but these guys out in the field, they work hard all the time, are accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to ask, you know, you have 100 years, and I think collectively a lot of years just between the career y'all have had it with Mission. Do y'all have any fun stories or anything? Y'all can tell.
Probably
Shane, you go
not.
first.
yeah. So, you know, I've been doing this a long time, and I guess I broke out under my dad, right? I worked for my dad for about 5 years, and that was a tough 5 years. I'm not gonna lie to you. One thing that stands out to me, and it's quite funny, is it was my first day to go to a drilling rig. I was 19, and I'll never forget this. We didn't have any trucks. Our trucks were all out. And so Dad had to rent a truck for me to drive to the rig, right? And so it was this red Ford single cab truck, and it just stuck out like a sore thumb. And before I got to the rig, he had called the rig and let them know that, hey, I'm sending my son out there. He's never been on a rig before.
He's not driving a white truck.
He's not driving a
He's
right
driving
truck.
a red
He's
truck.
driving a red truck. And so my dad handed me a hard hat. And he's like, when you get on location, you got to put this on, you know. I'm like, yeah, no problem. So I get on location, and I put the hard hat on, and I'm walking around, you know, and like I know what's going on. And the tool pusher goes, you know that hard hat's on backwards, right? And so my dad had taken the liner out of the hard hat and turned it around. And where I was wearing it backwards on purpose. And so that was my first introduction to a drilling rig. And I felt about this big, but 20 years later, here I am. So it's all good.
That's funny. And I had a similar one on a land rig too, 2 weeks into the job. I'm riding around with one of my mentors at the time, calling on some land rigs in South Louisiana. We go into this one tool pusher shed, you know, a temporary building, living quarters, office, all amongst themselves. And we're talking for about 30 minutes, and then it's time to go. We're moving on to the next rig. And I could not figure out how to open the door to get out of the tool pusher shed. And there's a knob on there with duct tape, and it keeps turning, and I can't get it. And all of a sudden, the tool pusher, my mentor, you got to hit it harder. And so then put your shoulder into it. I'm bouncing into the wall, trying to knock it down like a wrestler. No, dummy, hit the knob. Hit the knob, and it opened right up.
Push knob.
So I've been known as a salesman that can't get out of a tool pusher's office now. But honestly, I think Shane and I and the entire global team, you know, we've all learned lessons from mentors. We've had some really, really good folks. That's one thing that attracted me to Mission was the 30 to 40 year veterans on the team. But you know, lessons learned. It takes a lot of time you'll never know everything, but it takes a lot of time to get the value added knowledge bank that these guys had. And there's a couple key things, like another mentor of mine would always say, the dullest pencil is brighter than the sharpest mind, which always resonated with me, basically meaning you might be the smartest person in the world, but you need to write it down.
Yeah.
Write it down so you don't forget. And that was one thing that's always stuck out with me in the sales side. I'm sure you probably have several of those mentors over the time as well. And you know, of course, the other big lesson learned too is you never want to get complacent. I know we've hit on innovation a little bit. We talked about the PowerLast fluid, and we've got a wonderful new product coming out with the centrifugal pump line, which is the most recognizable centrifugal pump in the industry, not just the drilling, but the alternative market landscape as well. And we've got a new VCPIR, it's called, Shane.
That's right. VCPIR. It's a vertical pump. It's basically a spin off of our normal vertical pump, but it brings in a huge safety factor. And I guess what stands out to me is it's got a arm basically that is used to pick the pump up and down. It alleviates guys from having to lift the pump. It alleviates cranes. It alleviates electricians. You don't have to take the complete vertical offline, which you're allowed to leave the motor inline, which is a huge game changer. from what our competitors provide.
I would assume it's also a game changer in time, not just safety.
100%.
Yeah.
So it definitely helps with downtime,
Yeah.
which is a huge thing.
You're looking
for
at
the rig.
4 hours to maybe 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
That's substantial.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it's not just on the land rigs and the offshore rigs, but even on the workboat vessels that are supplying supply vessels offshore, where there are 4 or 5 stories underneath working on these big XP pumps. You need to have some innovation to help. So, yeah. Yeah,
Well,
a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of exciting stuff. Yeah, because I was going to say it's 100 years this year, but next year we got 101.
That's
Are we
right.
having another party?
That's right. I wrote a message to our global team for our quarterly newsletter where we do a big outreach to not just the sales, but manufacturing and the operation side. And I started out with, okay, here we are, 101.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
this is the next thing. And I kind of laughed, when I started out kind of going back to lessons learned and stuff in sales, you always want to make sure brand equity is there, but also to create ownership that we're all in it for the same reason. And I would always laugh when I would try to sell fluid and expendables or pumps. I would tell the folks I'm selling it to, this has got nutritional value. And they look at me, what you mean nutrition? You can't eat this thing. I said, no, but if you buy this and it works on your rig, it's going to help you feed your family. And it's going to help feed my family as well. And they kind of joke about that. But in all honesty, it's a wonderful profession. I think majority of the mission folks have never worked a day in their life because they love what they do every day and they care about the customer. And we built the trust with them. And, we're in it for another 100 years.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, just the little bit we've hung out with you guys over, throughout this year, it's definitely been apparent that kind of mentality is there with everybody that we've seen. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I joke with all my guys, but it's the truth, right? I mean, we're employed by NOV. They're a great company, but we work for the customer. I mean, and there's no doubt about it, right? I mean, these guys, they help the customer, and it's all about making the customer's life easier. So if they have problems, I mean, that's what we're here for, to solve those problems. And I think we've been doing it 100 years, and there's nothing stopping us now, right? I mean, we're going to continue to do what we do. So
that's right. Yep. And I know Tyler's out there, 32 degrees, helping the customers out all the time. We appreciate you. We appreciate all the sales folks out, not just in North America, but the globe. We're on all 4 corners of the world.
Yeah.
So.
That's right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank y'all so much for coming in and sharing
Thanks
some of the
for having us.
story.
Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity. We hope to do it again.
Yeah.
in
Tyler,
the
hope the
future.
rest of the test goes well for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us all the way from Pennsylvania.
We
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Tyler.
All right.
yeah, stay warm.
Great. Thanks, guys.
All right. Appreciate y'all. See ya.